Hi, my name is Patrick. Hey, thanks for taking a look at this first video in a series on new home construction. We're going to be covering a lot of topics of building a home here, so stay tuned. A lot of content coming your way. And so for today's video, I'm coming to you from the trenches of new home construction. That's right, I'm down here in a trench for today's video. This video, I'm going deep. I'm going underground. What am I talking about? I'm talking about digging a hole, flipping the switch, putting your walls up. I'm talking about foundation. Let's see what's cracking here on the job site. Here's a nice bird's eye look at the entire foundation as it sits right now. And here's another view of some of the soils that are found here on the job site. You can see there's some rocky conditions, there's some clay here, various different colors. This is really typical for here in Wisconsin, and it's going to be just fine for this job site. And underneath the foundation walls, now you can even get a little bit better look at the edge of the footing. That's what's supporting these basement walls down here, the foundation. So you have that footing, and that's going to run all the way around this entire home. And down here on the ground we have what's known as crush, and that's these stones that go over what we call the weep tile, the weeping tile, or the drain tile that's under the house. So we have a contractor, they're called a stone slinger or a stone thrower. They'll come out and they'll just start to fill this trench in with the crush rock, as we call it. So we're actually starting this video series here in the dead of winter. There's a couple of words that go together good, dead, and winter. You know, I used to think the only thing good about winter was killing bugs here in Wisconsin. But actually, as it turns out, the winter can be a great time to get your new home started. As you know, as we were joking about before, this video is coming to you from the dead of winter. So yeah, it works out great. The ground is firm, it's easy to machine. As long as you're dressed for the elements, it usually works out just fine. Also, once in a while, a client will ask, well, what are these things that are sticking out of the concrete? These are actually called anchor bolts. And when this is poured and this is still wet and loose, these are about 4 or 5 inches long, and they just kind of push them into the concrete. And it's these bolts that will attach the foundation to the framing above. They'll screw down on this nice and tight. And that's what's going to attach the house to this part here. And also on this foundation, here's another detail that people will ask about once in a while. You can see these little keys or pins that you see sticking out of the wall. Those are actually placed in the concrete when the forming team is out here. They have the aluminum forms or whatever they happen to be using. That helps keep everything nice and straight, locks them into place. Later, we'll have our forming contractor come out. They'll knock those off with a hammer, and then in some cases they have to seal around them, but those do come out as time goes by. Also in the foundation, you're going to see these little openings here. They actually call that a beam pocket, and that's where the steel beam gets lowered into by a boom once we're ready for that. So one of the questions I get from time to time from clients who are building homes is they see the basement walls are up, but there's no one on the job site just like today, and they start to worry, hey, what's going on? How come nothing's happening? Well, that concrete wall, the basement, actually takes some time to cure. So you want to make sure that that's cured and solid before you go on to the next step. And if you look over my shoulder here, you'll see a lot of dirt in the background. That's waiting to be backfilled against these walls, filling in the trenches, and then starting to make this job site ready for the next phase of construction. So you do have to wait while that basement cures, but it's good to know. And yet another detail to take a look at. Take a look at this L-shaped ledge that's here on the foundation. This has been poured in with the aluminum forms that were here previously. These ledges are used typically to support brick or stone that you would then see later on the outside of the home. That's classically what these ledges are for. All right, taking a look, here we have the insulation that's been applied to this foundation wall. This one happens to be through Dow. It's their tongue and groove insulation kind of method. That just means that there's a channel here where the panels lock in together. It makes for a nice clean insulation, but the reality is they all pretty much are the same. And just another quick look at this foundation wall, the trench that's here, and some of the dirt, the soil that's on location before that gets backfilled. This is all going to look very different in just a little while. And here's just one more quick look at this foundation. You can see the forms have all been set, nice brick pattern. Got our supports up, holding up the walls. Everything looks great. All right, hey, I bet you didn't see this coming. I got your bonus tip of the day. Hey, I really appreciate you taking a look at this first video. And as a bonus for watching all the way to the end, over my shoulder, and I'm gonna give you a quick look, we have this year's Parade of Homes model. So let's take a look, see what's going on here real quick. This one has a full exposed basement. So you can see the cutouts for windows, doors, things of that nature. They're gonna have a great view of the land around this amazing home. All right, thanks for taking a look at this first video on new home construction. More content is coming your way.